Hello and welcome to Better Life Today. I'm Charlie.
And I'm Kelly.
And I'm Jeanette. We're so glad that you have joined us today.
All right, and coming up, we have an update on what's happening at the station and a few thoughts about handling conflict with grace.
We will get you moving with a quick exercise. We're also going to play a round of Would You Rather and spotlight a beautiful hymn.
And don't miss Kelly's closing quote at the end of the program. I think you will find it very inspirational. So let's get started.
All right, so we have some exciting developments to share with you here at the station, including some new programs. The first is called Bridges Over Walls. Let's take a look at a clip.
Humility is the mother of curiosity. If I don't start at the beginning of the day recognizing my own failings, it will not allow the kind of curiosity that I might have about you.
So we have to get over that wall of arrogance of, oh, the old people don't know what they're talking about.
I believe in community. I believe in serving those who need it now.
Being Christ's presence in a community means moving into the community. See what your neighbor's needs are and be aware of it enough that you're able to offer something and be involved.
If the church's highest calling is to pull people into community, to explore the possibility of God and of love, we have to be really careful about firing away all the time, because you destroy your capacity to pull people together.
If we're supposed to be agents of good in our society, we ought to be pursuing the good rather than going around with a microscope trying to point out the bad.
Because of that, we can have the tendency to not be the best listeners.
Part of the problem for us in the church is somewhere along the line we started putting on these masks of like, I'm fine, I'm good, we don't have problems, we come to church and we do the right things and we're just these like little perfect people. How damaging is that?
Bridges are about listening. Curiosity, by definition, means I have something else I can learn. And I think whether it's the next generation teaching me something or someone that has the complete opposite political viewpoint I might have, do I really think I can learn something from them?
We must find the relevance of our church where it is located. Jesus says, I was naked and you clothed me. I was hungry. You fed me. I was sick. You came to see me. I was in prison. You went. When did we do all this stuff? When you did it to the least of these. In other words, when your church was involved in blessing others. So you open your doors on the weekend, the music is playing. Why are you there?
Christianity is one of the most consistently controversial topics in the United States today. And if there's one thing that Christians have gotten incredibly good at, it's building walls. Whether it's social barriers we've created across things like races and cultures and genders, or broader barriers between our churches and their surrounding communities, these relational walls seem to have gone up in every direction. If you've ever wanted more out of Christianity, if you've ever thought about how much better the world would be if we spent more time building bridges of connections rather than these thicker walls, this show is for you.
So the Bridges Over Walls program is one of my favorite. It actually was started as a podcast, and we're so excited to be able to share this with you. It is all about how we can build bridges instead of walls, something that I need to hear for sure.
And the second program we have is a mini series titled Living Faith. And it takes a look at the Seventh-day Adventist community and how can we live out our faith. Let's take a look at that.
Growing up, I had a friend who would explain some of his beliefs as like homework. Like, you have homework and you have a choice to do it or not.
I have a lot of intellectual knowledge about Bible, Revelation, Daniel. But I realize that it just stays as a knowledge until something happens.
Just as everything I do, it's worshiping God. Everything I do can be evangelism.
When we worship God, we're keeping the Sabbath. If we're following the rules, we can keep Saturday. But if that's where my values are, then I can hardly wait for the stinking day to get over.
Can God be trusted? This is the lie that has put humanity in the mess that we're in today. And when that question is fully answered, it changes how you approach the second coming.
So when I hear the word evangelism, what I hear is a way for people to make decisions to follow Christ.
A lot of people think like preaching and seminars is gonna like do something, but everybody is different.
It's very important to go to church, but it's important to serve more people outside of the church. Bring that love to them.
It gives me hope, and I think that's what people are looking for, is a reason to live and a hope and a purpose.
Helping the needy. I just personally believe it's the heart of the gospel.
There are people who say, oh, we only want to play music in these certain styles or sing these certain types of hymns. But I think it's not just about me and my musical preferences, but it's also about learning to appreciate the ways other people have worshiped God in their own context.
They are in church. They are in church. They're not out on the street. They're not in the clubs. They're not doing anything else. They are in church, and you're talking to them like this. Where else would you rather them to be?
God wants us to be in a worship relationship with Him. And if we got a good relationship with Him, we're going to have a good relationship with our fellow church members. Even the ones we don't like, we can still love them.
And something beautiful that is coming to your screen, we are so excited to share with you. We have partnered with Creationscapes to bring you breathtaking, all-new nature programs. From majestic mountains to creatures great and small, these stories of God's creation will inspire and refresh your spirit right here on this channel and our dedicated nature channel.
All right, so stay tuned for this and some other programs that are to come. You know, we're able to grow and introduce these new programs because of viewers just like you. So thank you so much for partnering with us.
Now let's talk about conflict. Whether it's a coworker, a friend, a neighbor, a family member, conflict often enters our life, and how can we best deal with conflict?
And we've all been in situations like that where we've had some sort of conflict that we have had to deal with. And did you know that in our Bible, it tells us in Proverbs 15:1 that a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Yeah, and conflict is so uncomfortable. I mean, even when Jeanette brought it up, I think my lip curled a little bit because there's so much to that. So let's look at 3 simple steps to help settle conflict. The first one is pause. Give yourself a moment to just take a breath before reacting. The second one, listen. Really hear what the other person is saying. And then 3, respond, but don't react. Choose grace over heat. Easy to say, but these are things we can actually practice and get better at. And hopefully the person you're in conflict with will learn some of those same skills with you.
Yeah, and sometimes we just need to ask ourselves, do I want to be right? Or do I want to be in relationship? Do I want to be right or do I want to be kind? It's an important thing to ask yourself. Of course, we want to be in relationship. We want a healthy relationship with our friends and family.
Yes, God calls us to be peacemakers, and that starts with humility.
All right, now let's take a little movement break. So if you want to get up with me, and if you're watching at home, just stand on up, and we're just going to do what we're told here. All right, take it away.
All right, Charlie. So let's roll our shoulders back.
Okay.
Right, and then roll them forward. Stretch them out. Good job. And now go ahead and stretch. Reach your hands above your head like you're reaching for heaven.
Oh.
Very nice.
Yeah, I heard some noises there, but I think they were good noises. That feels really good.
It does feel good. Even from the seated position, that felt good. You know something else? You can put your hands down, Charlie.
All right.
Something else is breathing. Whether you're tense, anxious, stressed out, deep breaths. So deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth, slow. Do that again. Deep breath in through the nose and out.
hold on to something so I don't fall over here.
Right. That's a good point. Doesn't that feel good?
That feels wonderful.
And it's always good to get a little cardio, so we're going to march in place. Can you march in place for us, Charlie?
Yes, and it takes me back to Pathfinders, kind of like Boys Club, Boy Scouts.
Yes.
All right.
All right, just a few.
I want to say left, right, left.
Oh, that feels really good, especially after sitting for a while.
I bet it does. So just a few steps to get your circulation going.
So speed up a little bit. Oh, that feels great.
All right, nice job.
All right, sometimes, we just need a few seconds to reset the body and the mind. All right, so it is time. I have this card on and you have one too, this card on the table.
I do.
It is time for a quick round of Would You Rather. Ready, team?
Ready.
All right, I haven't looked at this until just now, so I'm going to start with you, Jeanette. Would you rather be there when Jesus fed the 5,000 or when he calmed the storm?
When he calmed the storm.
Why is that?
Without a doubt. I was studying this very story not too long ago, and we always picture Jesus in the boat. We know the story. If we were raised in Christian homes, we heard it from, the time we were in mom's arms. But just recently, I read that there were other small boats with him. So there were other boats out on that lake and other people, not just the disciples, but who knows how many others witnessed that miracle. And I was thinking to myself, I would have loved to have been on one of those smaller boats that the Bible talks about, to be witness to that miracle, to be fearing for your life, and 1 second later, nothing but peace and calm. I can still see the children's book with the big full moon shining down on the glassy surface of the water. Yeah, both would be exciting, but definitely the storm.
Of course. What about you?
That's a good question. I probably would agree with Jeanette. I'd probably rather be there for the calming of the storm.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be such a beautiful scene and so peaceful. And I think that it would help us to trust in God.
Mm-hmm.
I guess the feeding the 5,000 would as well. But for some reason, the calming of the storm.
Yeah, me too. But then I also think about, here the worry that I would have. I guess it depends if I were a disciple or one of the hungry people there. But just watching, I like to look at other people's reactions and watching the reaction of people who are tired and then now they're handed food and just seeing what that would have looked like for them.
Yeah, yes.
So you have a question as well.
I do. Are you ready? Would you rather go through the plagues of Egypt or the judgment of God in the end times?
My question was a lot easier. My goodness. I would rather, just knowing what I know, I would rather go through the judgment because I can see on the other side of that now. The plagues and everything else, it just seems like that would feel like the new reality. And I guess it would depend on where your seat was in that story. But also to feel that there was somebody that was causing that by not letting the people go and having no control at all.
Yes.
So I would say being at the judgment.
I like that answer. I think I agree with you. How about you, Jeanette? Would you rather go through the plagues of Egypt or the judgment of God in the end times?
So as soon as I heard that question, I started thinking and definitely going to answer the same as Charlie. And for the same reasons. The plagues for the Egyptians, they had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
Even the Israelites, I'm sure, they didn't have a clear understanding of what was ahead of them, but we do. And so as we look ahead to Jesus' second coming and the tribulation that the Bible talks about, I think we're better prepared with knowledge. I don't know if you can be prepared, but the Holy Spirit will lead us through that time. But yeah, definitely end times.
Yeah. So that's a great transition, Jeanette, because now it's time for our hymn spotlight. And today we're featuring a hymn that's brought comfort and confidence to believers through generations. Great is thy faithfulness.
Yeah. This song was written in 1923. It was written by Thomas Chisholm. And what makes this song really so inspiring is this guy was not a prolific pastor. He wasn't an evangelist. He was not even a songwriter. He was just a normal, everyday guy. He had some pretty serious health problems, not sure exactly what those were. But out of that experience came this beautiful song.
Despite that, Chisholm said, I must not fail to record here the unfailing faithfulness of a covenant-keeping God. His words weren't born out of ease. They were written from a life that depended daily on God's provision.
The hymn was inspired by Lamentations, chapter 3, verses 22 and 23, which says, because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness.
Amen.
I love that.
What's amazing about this hymn, it didn't become really very well known until the great evangelist, Dr. William Henry Houghton of the Moody Bible Institute. He started using it. And then George Beverly Shea started singing it at Billy Graham crusades. And you can just imagine from Billy Graham crusades, it just took off.
Let's reflect on those words. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. I just love that. I just think that's such a beautiful thing that our God is telling us. He's faithful, that he's our Father, and he's never going to change.
That's right. So maybe today you need that reminder right now that even when life changes, God doesn't change. His mercy, it's still new every morning. This morning, tomorrow morning, every morning after that.
Great is thy faithfulness, O God my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness.
So I just want to encourage you to visit our website. We talked about some new programs we're introducing. And on our website, you're going to find lots of resources. We're going to be finding some study guides, program notes, and you also will find the opportunity to join us. We welcome you to join us in being able to share these kind of messages with other people. And you can do that by donating to us. We are a nonprofit organization, and everything we do is because you have chosen to partner with us. So thank you.
All right, Charlie. And before we go, here's today's quote. Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes courage is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, I will try again tomorrow. I love that quote.
I do
beautiful.
too. You know, maybe today did not go as planned. Maybe you're in the middle of something really tough right now. But we just want to encourage you, don't quit. You know, like the song, Great is Thy Faithfulness. There's a lyric in there, your mercies are new every morning. Of course, that's scripture. Just hang on to that. Lean into Jesus and don't give up. Never give up.
That's right. We are rooting for you, and more importantly, God is with you. So thank you for spending this time with us. We'll see you next time for more inspirational, fun, faith-filled conversations on Better Life Today.